I was really intimidated. But I think the way I work, the way my brain operates also is in fear. Like I think fear makes me really now attack. If okay, I'm afraid of this stuff, then I'm gonna go for it. Like I'm gonna try and conquer it. Yeah. So I think that's what worked for me because.
Please welcome 3D artist and environment generalist Olubunmi to this episode of the Learn Squared podcast, who shares his career and pathway as starry-eyed beginner to working with the biggest studios in the industry and alongside his idols. He also shares what it was like trying to break through from the limited opportunities he faced in Nigeria to then working across the globe. And perhaps the key ingredient to it all, the extent of his drive and hustle. And before we begin, the internet gods were not kind to us at the time we recorded this episode, so we tried our best to fix the deteriorated audio quality. Apologies in advance, and we hope you enjoy the episode. Let's go.
All right, cool. Let's go. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Learn Squared podcast. I'd like to welcome on the very talented Olubunmi, John. Welcome, Olubunmi.
Thank you. I'm happy to be on the show. On the podcast.
Happy to have you on, man. Before we get into all the good stuff, if you wouldn't mind just giving us a rundown as to who you are and what you do, and obviously origin story and all that good stuff.
Okay. My name is Olubunmi John. I'm a 3D environment artist, generalist, and I work in movies and currently working in animation. So doing environment, CG environment for animation. Yeah. So that's basically it.
How long have you been doing that for now? Like as a profession?
Yeah, as a profession, working as 3D environment artist because I've had different phases.
Okay.
As an artist, I started off as environment painter in animation, then moved on to doing environment art, like environment concept. Because I was really looking the works of Stephen Messi, Maciej Kucher, like all the guys that inspired me. I think they've all been on this podcast or at Cafe. Mm-hmm. So I from there I moved into doing matte painting for movies. So I think I transitioned to doing matte paintings in 2019.
Okay.
So and 2020, towards the ending of 2020 was when I got my first show working as environment artist on a movie with Disney in the art department of Disney in Los Angeles, but I was doing it from Nigeria. So I was working on Mufasa, doing environment concept on Mufasa, back in 2021. So I started working on it in 2021, February. Mm-hmm. So ever since then till now, I've been working in film because from there I moved to MPC, worked on some TV shows at MPC, worked on a movie. My first movie at MPC was Disenchantment. Disenchantment.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Disenchantment. So I did some paintings on the show. Then from MPC moved to MISC, which shut down now the studio. Even MPC is gone now, which is sad. Then from MPC now right to where I am currently working in animation. So I've been
cool.
So it's roughly 4 years now doing this. Yeah, working in movies and animation, 4 years. But being a concept artist, I've started doing a bit of concept art from 2016 till 2019. Yeah.
Nice. So, love to get into all the changes and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
One moment. Set audio. Okay, cool. Yeah. We'd love to go into detail about all the different, transitions and the different stages. Yeah. I always find that stuff fascinating, and it's interesting as well because it shows how there's a lot of detail and a lot of there's a vast spectrum in our industry of the different things you can do, and you don't need to always specialize in one thing. You can switch gears and do the other thing, or you can stick to your own lane as well. But let's focus on the last 4 years or so. How would you describe, because it sounds like there's a lot that happened, a lot of changes, a lot of work, a lot of different kind of jobs and stuff. How do you feel about the last 4 years?
So I when I was dreaming about it, like when I was dreaming, it feels different when you are dreaming, like when you are the other side dreaming, oh, I need to work on movies, I need to do
Yes.
works, I need to do the action, like because I was so fascinated with seeing my work on screen. You know, if you're a concept artist, you just see translation of your work on screen. But I wanted to see my models, my paintings screen directly, which is what matte painting do. Like that's what you get a painter. You know, but so when I got into the industry, it was really like it was very very rough to start with because that was my first VFX work was at MPC. Well, how MPC they work very fast, like everything moved very. So it was very very rough from the beginning, but like only I had very nice leads and supervisors, so that made it less rough for me, like a bit. So I would say from the beginning, first from the start, I was really like I was scratching my head. I was like I think I need to get out of this because it was not very easy to adapt to this new environment. Because just imagine I was just a concept artist that do a lot of freelance, just stay at home, do cool, try to do short, and wishing that one day, oh, someone's gonna see this shot and be like, you can do something in a movie for us. You know, you could come join us at NPC or at ILM DNEG. So then I finally got the opportunity, and it was very rough. So, but over time, right now, it's better because now at least there's a bit of trust. Like, I already trust myself. Like at my current studio, when I get my task, I already oh yeah, I know what to do and know how to. Yeah, so it's better now for me. But yeah, it has been a very slow transition. So it's not as rosy as I was thinking it would be.
Interesting.
Yeah. I would say I joined this industry when it's tough. Because when I go to some of the Reddit posts online, the BFS group, you would see people that have been in it for 15 years, 30 years, saying that, you know what, back in the early 2000s, they enjoyed it more than how it is now. You know, because now there's more deadlines, there's bigger expectation from the audience. So, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So your mic's gone lower again. Cool. Yeah, no, that's a very interesting topic that I've experienced myself, just like in terms of expectation versus reality. I guess you can simplify in that way, but there's all lots of factors as well. So you mentioned obviously the guys that you spoke to that more, I guess, to have a longer experience, who have seen the industry in a different state. When you were trying to get into the industry, would you say you had, like, where do you think the rosiness came from your perspective? Like, was it more because it was a dream, that's what you wanted to do, and you had imagined it was like that? Or was it because of listening to the podcast, listening to different people's interviews? They were more explaining how it was back then. That makes sense.
Yeah. So, I think it's because the way I am is if I really want to do something, I would I used to feel like if I get to a particular age and I've not achieved something, I have to achieve it. Like I'm not gonna be able to live my life fully at that age, knowing that there's something I was supposed to try that I did not try. So one of the things, firstly, I've been fascinated with movie environment even while I was doing concept art, doing animation concept art, animation painting, background paintings. I've been fascinated with movie environment. I especially like fantasy architecture. So a lot of different kind of architecture. So I've been really fascinated with that. So like I remember watching King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. The Legend of the Sword. Like I grabbed a lot of environment from it when I was watching it. I'm like, how do they do this? Like, is this matte painters? So during this period, I was already looking at some of the artists, Dylan Cole, Stephen Mason. I mean, I've been following Mashi Kuchera since forever, since 2014 or thereabout. No, I think since 2012. I've been following Mashi Kuchera. Like, it's been so long. So, but I used to think, I just want to listen to him. I'm not sure I'm going to do what, because I did not understand what he does. I just know he does things that are realistic. But then I just wanted to work with Disney. I just wanted to work as animator artist in Disney. But I just love listening to him and looking at his work. So in the process, I was already building the love for movie, doing realistic stuff without knowing, like subconsciously. So I was already preparing myself, my mind for when I'm changing into that career. I already know so many things. So it's kind of, to go back to your question. Yeah, I would say it's kind of like a dream, like that I really wanted to achieve. I really wanted to make sure, like, I want to work on movies. I want to see. Yeah. So there's something that was fascinating, that I was obsessed with doing back then. Also, once a movie ends, I look for names in the credits and go and look them up, go and look at their works. Like, I used to write their names down. So I used to say to myself, one day my name is going to be on a movie credit, like Hollywood blockbuster movie credit. Yeah. And I've achieved that now. So, yeah. So now I'm already on my way to the next thing. Like, I'm already thinking the next thing I need to achieve as an artist. Yeah. So I think it's because it's a dream that I felt I need to achieve. And one thing also, it took me out of my comfort zone. Like, because that was my first time traveling out of Nigeria, going to work at MPC. So I had to go to the UK, into another culture to start, so it was kind of an incredible experience. At the same time, scary also, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, most like life-changing experiences, have to have both. It's never a case of like, it's only going to be good. It's only going to be bad. Like, when you think of an adventure, it has to have some threat, some peril, and some high moments as well. And most of the time, if we're talking movie sense, 90% of the film is all danger and threat before you get the kind of reward at the end. But it's also encouraging to hear that you made your dream happen and you fought for it, and you hunted for it. I guess that's probably a better way to use it. It wasn't a case of how do I make it happen? You made it happen.
From Nigeria. Like, sorry for cutting you off.
Talk to me. No, please talk to me about that specifically. Yeah.
Yeah. A place from Lagos. People that are living there are going to understand what it takes, because when I was doing matte painting, some of the friends I had back in 2013, when I was still working in the Nigerian, like, at some point I was working for studios in Nigeria. So I made some friends during the year. So when I was moving later years, like 2019, when I was doing matte painting, so I had some people looking at me like, what does this mean? Like, you're not going to make money with this in Nigeria. So I made it like, I'm not targeting Nigeria. Like, I know we don't do matte painting movies in Nigeria, so I'm targeting Hollywood, like so there are all those things around that people don't understand. Like, it's funny that people, even in the US, in the UK, says that people don't understand what it is. So talk less, like, if now imagine coming to Nigeria, the industry does not exist at all. So yeah. So that was a crazy move. And plus, I'm glad I had friends that had the same passion, the same vision.
Right.
So we rubbed the vision of each other. Like, we just keep moving. I see my friend, I have a friend, Shegun, who was making big moves back then. So it makes all those moves make me want to make a big move also.
Right.
So,
right.
Like, this guy, I know this guy from my street. How is he getting this type of this type of movies, this type of opportunities? So it's kind of like healthy competition. Yeah. So now there are a lot of artists in Nigeria that I'm really proud of, like young guys painting very crazy stuff coming up.
Sick.
And yeah, but we didn't have a lot back when I was.
No, I can imagine, and I've heard some stories as well. Not just only, I guess, in the art world. I know I've worked with a bunch of people who have emigrated from Africa and other African countries as well, and Nigeria also, like we mentioned before the call. And what you just mentioned, I've heard that story a bunch of times as well. My heritage is South Asian. I know a lot of people from that area as well. Similar kind of stories, similar kind of battles and stuff. So what's the scene like now? So if you were coming up now in Nigeria, what is available to you now versus what you didn't have back then?
Yeah, so now, like, what's available, what I've seen now, because I'm following some of the young artists that are doing very good work, even more than what I can do some of the painting that some of the guys do. So they have people, like now they have people that sing, they've seen people like them from the same country, from the same state, already working on big movies. So because it's what the people we look up to, that's what they had. Like when I was looking up to Maciej Kuchera, I remember Maciej would mention a Polish guy, I've forgotten his name, that had a movie that was nominated in early 2000, a movie that was nominated for, I think they have, the studio are the one doing the Witcher. So he had a studio, he did a movie that was nominated in America, I think Oscar, it was animation Oscar category. So he said that encouraged him because that was just a Polish guy that got that kind of opportunity back in the early 2000s. So I was like, I see, he had someone like that. There was no one like that, like to look at. Some of the artists that we were looking up to, they were kind of local artists, great guys, great artists, but they were just everything they do is just kind of it's enclosed, like it's just in the country. They were not looking to take it out. We're not looking to break boundaries. So we respected them because I remember we used to go to their workshops and all of that. But we wanted to just we wanted to take it up like across the border to like if it's possible to be able to work with some of these giant companies or work on some of these. So that's what we were thinking as far back 2014. We were already thinking that. So and we had some studios that tried to make such move, but it didn't work out. So I would say it's a process. Like some people started opening the door gradually. So they failed in this area, so we can do it this way. So gradually, then now I would say my set of artists were the first one that was getting like working with studios abroad on projects and all of that. So now the new guys seeing all of this, so some of them send me message and they're like, that they are really happy that this kind of thing, that they are encouraged that because they are seeing that they're gonna achieve this kind of thing too in the future. So I'm glad that we were able to like at least contribute to something like that in Nigeria.
Sick.
Yeah.
So like pioneers then, right?
I'm not gonna say that.
Okay. Fair enough. But I'm sure, and by the sounds of it, there's a lot of like, not maybe trial and error, but a lot of effort and not always bearing fruit. It must have got a negative though. It must have been like at times where you thought it's never going to happen, or did that never cross your mind?
Yeah, there's been a lot of time like that. There's been a lot of time like that because sometimes when I remember as far back as 2017, I think I applied to Animal Logic in here in Australia. Animal Logic, I applied to them. So I have some good concept I could show them, because I really loved what's the movie? Lego Movie. Lego.
Yes.
I love all those franchises like from Animal Logic. I love them so much. So I was like, I can do some paintings maybe for them because I think I saw some of the concept art that they made for the movies. So that was when I was still I wanted to work as a concept artist. So I could do some concepts. So I wrote a good cover letter, and I applied to them and I never heard back from them. So that was 2016 or 2017, I cannot remember. And many other studios I've applied to like that. I was very upset with Disney. I actually created a blog spot for Disney to make Disney know that I'm coming for them. I created a blog spot back in 2000 and maybe 15, yeah, thereabout.
Yeah.
So I was really, yeah, I was making some type of moves, just believing that, well, if we keep making moves, if we keep letting people know we are interested in, like we you know, we are ready to come and compete fairly in the industry, you know. Yeah, so I'm glad that all those things now, it's kind of thing of the past, seeing how it has changed and how, because now some of the guys that I know in Nigeria, some of the young artists, I see some of them making painting for what's the name? Magic the Gathering.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm like, I could never imagine this. The only guys that do Magic the Gathering paintings are Mache, Steven Messi, Aaron Limonic. Like, there's so many of them, like names. Yeah, Shedi Savadi. Yeah. And yeah.
Sick. So you mentioned obviously like the kind of work that was available, the kind of stuff that your skills could have been used locally at that time.
Yeah.
Wasn't the same as what it had been like obviously internationally. Is that still the case now, or is that expanded over in Nigeria?
So, there's a different way to answer that, because I saw some very good artists. Some of they are quite good guys, and I saw them working with Nollywood, doing some prop modeling for Nollywood. I was like, okay, that looks good to know. Like, Nollywood have started implementing, you know, this type of things, high quality stuff into their movie. But I still don't like their movies. I still feel like they can do better. And the problem again also is labor, like the payment, how they treat artists compared to the way in the Western world, how artists are treated and respected. So it's a different thing. It's a different case. So as an artist, you wouldn't want to dream to work in Nollywood. Like, you would just want to, especially now, you would not want to work with Nollywood, because there's kind of a lot of politics that they play in there and all of that. Yeah, because I've worked with them before. I've worked with some companies in Nollywood before I moved over to the UK. So I just myself, now I'm not gonna work with these guys anymore.
How did you develop?
Yeah, go on, sorry.
How did you develop your skills? Obviously, you mentioned some hints there. Like, obviously, when there was a film, you looked at all the credits, found out what people did.
Yeah.
You obviously knew what you wanted to do. But in places, and even like in eras, like my education was early 2000s, first decade of the 2000s, pretty much. And a lot of that stuff that we do now was either not labeled, not listed, or not even a thing. So it's a case of like, you're just trying to like swimming around, trying to find your way. And it sounds like a bit of that was for yourself as well. So how did you form your curriculum? How did you know what to develop?
Oh, yeah. So I think because one thing that helped also is knowing some of the top guys at the game, like people that know that the biggest name in the game. So looking at their works and listening a lot to them, because I listened a lot to Dylan Cole. Like I would dig deep to look for podcasts that have been lost in the internet. Like, there are some Dylan Cole interview and workshops, free workshops he did with CG Forum that you can't find easily. Like, you can't find. I'm not sure they are available anymore. But there was a time that those podcasts. So they called it like workshop before the main workshop. So he did a pre-workshop where you could still learn a lot, where he showed some of his work process. So I remember digging those stuff out, then digging those videos out from CG Forum and listening. I listened a lot to a lot of artists, to Ashtop, to Mashi Kusher. And these are a combination of concept artists and matte painters. So, because at some point it was like, what Mache was doing, at some point, Mache became, because Mache is my greatest inspiration, like when it comes to how artists think. Yeah, I've messaged him since 2011 or 12. He never answered me, but but I'm glad we worked together on Mufasa. So
there you go.
Yeah, I was able to shout out to him like, hey, I'm here because of you. And Alex
Sick.
Nice and Emmanuel Shu, like they were all on the project. So I just made a shout out to them. So because of how, like, he's the one that made me believe as an artist, you can literally do anything. You can take 3D stuff, mix it with 2D stuff. You can you can decide to put a camera to move it. It just work on whatever comes to his mind, and he just does it that way. So which was one of the important stepping stones for how I moved in my career. How I already knew that, okay, like, even if I'm doing matte painting, I'm not sure I will have to end everything in matte painting. Like, this is just a stepping stone to somewhere that I don't know where it's leading me. Like, I don't know where it's leading me, but this is leading somewhere, because I've seen it in the life of people like Ashtop. Yeah, like, those are the greatest guys. Aaron Beck, so I listen to them a lot. Like, I think I've listened to anything that has to do with them, like anything that has to do with their podcast, with where they are interviewed, their talks, some of the talks they gave, like maybe in some workshop. I've listened to everything. And I remember Machine, when he was using 3D Smart a lot, he has this YouTube video. I'm not sure it's not on Lens Squared, but he has a YouTube video where he just rants and just does his stuff. And while he's ranting and saying a lot, and it's just enjoyable, and just be listening to him, and he'll just be working here. So I was watching all those videos, like, I was watching it almost every day. So my mind already knew what to expect, how am I going to approach this? What knowledge do I need to have? And all of that, because the mindset is important with the skill also. So yeah. And of course, Jama Jurebaib and all this, that was the prime then. Jama, Betali Bogarov, they were all doing great things as artists. They were moving it away from just painting. They were just doing things that people don't understand anymore. So,
mate, you definitely
was built on that. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
No, you brought a lot of nostalgia. With that, like similar kind of stuff. I remember at that era, it was a case of, at least from my perspective, a case of you don't know which direction to go. Like, I was going that direction, but I didn't know if I was taking the right route, so to speak, or the most efficient route, the best route kind of stuff. So hearing everyone's kind of journeys, knowing whatever difficulties they had, and it wasn't the same for everybody else. There's a lot of crossover, of course, as well.
Yeah.
And just being able to kind of like decode stuff and be like, oh, so you don't need to worry about that kind of stuff. Oh, yeah, I need to be worrying about this thing that I think is going to be okay, and so on and so forth. But nevertheless, there's a difference between just listening to it and then listening to it, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
So it sounds like you definitely do it in a more kind of like, I guess, crime scene investigation kind of way. Like, you look at the crime scene, trying to investigate what happened where. So when you are listening, whether it's a podcast, obviously written content, like you mentioned, and other kind of stuff as well, even tutorials, what is your thought process when you are taking this information in? Do you just let it all come in one go, or do you kind of like, are you looking out for certain things? Is there a methodology behind any of that?
Yeah, I think I was just listening to a lot of what they were saying. So just like you mentioned, there's listening and there's listening. So I think I was really into it very deep. Because I was really going to look for things. If they mention a name, I can go looking for the name. Like, I'm looking for whoever that is. So everything built my understanding of how this industry is. Because, and one great thing also is, if you listen to Shady Savadi in the beginnings of not Art Cafe, it was it was brutally honest.
Yes.
So you would always he was brutally honest artist. So he would say how it is in the industry. And if you are not good enough, don't even think anybody's going to hand you out anything. Like, make sure you have to be good. Make sure you, so he mentioned, I remember that he normally mentioned, I forgot the name of the artist, but I think it's the same set with Matthias Zameki and, I forgot his name. He was quite popular then, but I think he was a student of Shady Savadi. So he mentions him and how his work is good. So I just go after him, look for his work. So my mind was already set, like, okay, if you want to be good at this, you have to work, like you have to create stuff. You have to really be good. You have to compete. So your work has to be good. So while I was listening, my mind was building in the aspect of, okay, so there's a lot of practice to be done. Like there's lots of CG to know, like, because I really wanted to start mixing CG stuff and yeah. So I think that's some of the things while listening to the podcast. Those were some of the things that come through to my mind. Yeah, that's how I process them. Yeah.
Yes. When you're getting all this information in, and when you're trying to embark on something, sometimes it can be obviously like you said, like it definitely sounds like this is something that you wanted to do. You mentioned the word dream, which is always a positive thing. Like this is something that you wanted to hunt for, you wanted to get, you wanted to experience.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you hear from professionals or you hear like how the job is or something like that, it can be very not entertaining, although it can be intimidating because it sounds like, wow, how do you even get to this point? Is everyone at any point even trying to reach that level? What was your mindset like when you were hearing all these things, all this different kind of advice, all this? Because I remember the same kind of feeling, like it was a lot of, yes, this is how you get good, but this is a lot of like more of this is the reality and you got to be ready for it kind of thing. Yeah. What was your mentality like? Was it, I think, inspiring even more, or did it intimidate you a little bit?
Yeah. I think I at some point I felt, you know what, I can't get to this point. You know, I just told myself I can't get to this point.
Right.
But I will see what I can do. So
yes.
So I was really intimidated. For sure. I was really intimidated. But I think the way I work, the way my brain operates also is in fear. Like I think fear makes me really now attack. If I'm afraid of this stuff, then I'm gonna go for it. Like I'm gonna try and I conquer it. Yeah. So I think that's what worked for me, because many times I just look at the works of these guys and I'm like, I can't be like this. Like I can't. I don't think I can get to this level because of some of the dedication. For some that had to go to, I think, California Art Institute, James Pike and John Park, like those guys with some of the other, you have to compete with them. You don't have that opportunity to go to that type of school to learn of paintings and all of that. And you still have to find a way to compete with them. So I'll be like, and even till now, I've not gotten to their level of work, but just because I've been consistent just on my lane, on what I can do, what I can absorb, I've been able to achieve what I was looking to achieve. So I think it's okay to not be as good as them, because it's not everyone that's gonna be on God mode, anyways. I think, but it does not mean that you can't do something great with what you have, because, for example, if you look at some of the guys in the indie game industry, you're gonna see that the very expert artists, people that know how to use 3D a lot and all of that, they get carried away with graphics, and some random guy will just show up in indie scene and it's just gonna make some funny game that it just understand what it takes to do something that's fun, and it's gonna be making millions than someone that knows how to do CG, that wants to make the game so beautiful, every angle, the art direction has to be completely perfect. So I think it's okay to know as an artist. For me, I've already told myself that you know what? I think with what I know already, I can continue on this lane and build something for myself. So I don't have to get to the God mode. So I think I told myself at some point, because I can't compete with James Pike or John Park, They've been like, these guys, I don't know what to say, so they're on the God level. Yeah. Or Jama, like.
Cool. So, I like what you mentioned there about inspirations. And I think this is a conversation that I've had as well with myself and looking at things. And it comes to a point where you realize you don't need to compete with your inspiration or inspirations. Yeah. And at one point, the inspirations, you're like, yes, I got to meet them. And then it kind of becomes like, I need to either match them or surpass them. Then it's like success is achieved. But then it kind of goes back to this, their inspiration kind of stuff.
So
and I think there's like,
yeah, it depends on what the artist, because some artists, that's what they do for success. And they go after that and they achieve it. Like they get better than their inspiration. It's fine for them, like, So, but I don't think it's everyone that's going to be built like that. That's what I'm saying. So like some people might want to really try so hard to beat their inspiration and they just get worn out, like, so, and they'll just give up easily because of that. Maybe because they don't know that they don't have to actually be better than the inspiration. They could just do what they know how to, what they've gotten from the inspiration so far. They could just be unique in that aspect.
Yes.
Their stuff. And it doesn't, like, because being an entrepreneur is a different thing to being an artist. So if you are a good entrepreneur, the little you know as an artist, you could actually still make a lot of bucks. Even maybe more than your inspiration, Yeah. So it all depends what fulfill the artist, like what they see as fulfillment. They have to, like, I really like this artist so much. Dream is to one day be able to do better than this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what gives you fulfillment as an artist?
So I'm going to say maybe it changed over time, because when I started out, I wanted to be better than Machi Kushera. In fact, when I started out, I wanted to make a movie that's better than Pixar movie.
Right.
So I had so many story ideas. So I've growing up on Pixar movies. So I'm like, there are some things I can do better than Pixar. Then I found out Pixar movie, 800 people works on it. And they have engineers that write render engines and all of that. And so, I wanted to use Maya or something that I could not afford back then. So then I found out something, then the dream died. So now if I have to come to this moment now with my age, because I'll be 33 later this year. So the dream is realistic now. So now I'm looking at the experience I already acquired, and I'm already thinking of, okay, what can I find in the world or that's the game industry, who I could partner with, and we could start building a company slowly, with what we know, and sharing the same vision, also very important. So that's my inspiration now, because I love very technical stuff. Like I'm currently as an artist, I'm learning. I'm just like a hobby. I'm learning how to program. Like I'm learning C++ and all of that thing, because I learned it from Machi Kushera, even though it does not learn program. But Machi always encouraged people to just go and learn how things work. Yeah.
Yes.
Just learn how things work. It helps to build the mind, anyways. So I'm just learning about computers. If I want to build a company around building a game for computers, I should as well as much know a little bit how computer works. Maybe it might help me with optimization and all of that. So that's my inspiration now is okay. I think I want to make a game in the future. I want to make a game that people can enjoy in the future. So and speaking of making a game, it did not just come from nowhere, because I started out wanting to be a game programmer, which I never mentioned. I wanted to make game for Java phones. I had stories written here. I wanted to make side-scrolling game. So I went all through this adventure to come back to this. Okay, you know what? I think I already know how I at least I can build what I want for myself. If I sit down and I need to make a CG shot, I can make it. I already trained myself to that. I'm already experienced. I've worked in companies and all of that to know approach. I already make a lot of friends. I could ask for things also in the industry, how did you do this? So those are very, very nice experience that I needed for this, to get here. Yeah. So I'm still working in the industry, but the inspiration now is to be able to be independent. like Vitali is doing it's running his game studio now. So
Yes.
yeah.
Now, I can relate. There's something about being independent or just the indie space that is very intriguing. How is that adventure going then? So is it still the early stages, or like, how serious are you about it?
It's still in my brain.
Okay.
Yeah, early stages, but I'm making the physical moves I'm making towards it is learning programming. I've played with Unreal Engine, I've played with Unity. So yeah, I've played around, just playing around with them to know how things work in them, and yeah. But yeah, currently I just want to start going gaming. But like, I think they have some local gatherings here in Australia that I will just go meet people, and yeah. But slowly, I think this is gonna be kind of like a lifetime adventure for me, because I want to build it over. I'm not rushing to make money. Yeah, it's kind of inbuilt. Like, it's something that I'm like, okay, I think this is adventure for me.
Sick.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's and I like how you said that it's something like a lifelong or like, you know, a long-term thing.
Yeah. Long-term.
Why do you describe it in that way? Like, why do you have to state that it's a long-term thing and not a short-term thing? Is that because of like the industry that you're in, like there's a lot of short deadlines and it's about getting things done? Or is it just more a case of you want this to be a long-term experience, or like something that you put a lot of time into?
Yeah. I think I want to enjoy it. I want to, it's going to be I think I'm looking at it as a personal project that's going to take me maybe 10 years. 10 years. I've not had a project like that. So, and I know there's no time and all of that for everything. You know, I'll rather be doing it. Maybe I die while doing it, but at least I know I started doing it. I don't care. So I would rather just have that timeline and just start doing it. Just start working on something and build it over time. A lot of people, you say that's not good for business. That's, you know, so I don't even know the future of the industry we are now, like with the artificial intelligence thing.
Yeah.
So at least I'm trying to plan alternative in case I run out of work when it comes to CG. At least maybe I'm gonna have a skill or a trade skill that I could use to still get money while I'm building this stuff. Yeah. So I want to do everything possible to make sure this trade keeps going. So I'm even planning to learn a trade skill to have that skill in case I have to still get a job while working on it. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm doing everything to achieve it. Yeah.
So is this the next stepping stone?
Yeah.
Or is this one of the stepping stones? So maybe it's an abstract way to ask something, but when you mention stepping stones, is it always a linear thing, or do you have multiple stepping stones emerge and you just choose which path to take every time?
I think it's linear for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's linear. I don't think I have multiple, except you are saying something about maybe some other life achievement, like maybe with my wife, some other thing. So those are very important things that have to be there. Like they are defaults. So I have plans.
True, yes.
The hobbies we want to do together, all of those stuff. So, but when it comes to art, this is the thing. This is the only, like, what I'm seeing my future looking like, which I'm already making moves towards. Yeah.
Nice.
And I'm like, okay, you know what? I feel everything I've learned is to be able to get to this, to have the confidence to approach this. Yeah. Because
we mentioned stepping stones. Sorry, please finish off. Yeah.
So if I don't have the confidence, I'm not gonna be like, I'm not sure I'll be here. I'll be thinking, you know what? It's time. Like, can I make a game? Can some of my friends, like, if I don't have experience, where's the friend? Like, I can't have any friend to talk to ask for cover and all of those things. You know, so now I have good artists better than me who are my friends in the industry. You know, so which is a good thing. Yeah. And if there's anything I've learned, it's still from like Ashtop and Mache, because they became entrepreneur so fast. When I was following them, I saw them as an artist. So when Mache started calling himself an entrepreneur, I said, what the hell are you doing, Mache? What the hell are you doing? We are not we are artists. Keep paintings. I need to see paintings. And Mache got so involved in so many other things. building companies. Started his the new stuff he has been doing currently with the which has been going to some places. I've been seeing him with some, like, you know what? Yeah, I guess this is a part of the stuff I've learned from him. Is my number one single most influential when it comes to art. Yeah. He does not know. But yeah, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one, But when it comes to this industry, he's the number one most influential, because he really did a lot for everybody at Cafe, Lane Squared, so yeah, Art Cafe was a very important. I'm pretty sure I've listened to every Art Cafe. Maybe if I'm not sure he's still releasing anything from maybe last year, but I from number 1 till 100 and something or 80 something, I think I listened to everything.
Just to throw my anecdotes in there as well, I can definitely relate to a lot of the what you just said there. And same, one of the reasons I ended up discovering Learn Squared and a lot of the resources that helped me get into this industry was initially through podcasts as well. Obviously, Level Up was huge, Feng Zhu was huge, Scott Robson did some stuff as well. Art Cafe was something a bit different, where I think that was when things started to kind of glue together. And it was kind of like, okay, let's try and make a trajectory in now. Obviously, fast forward, I didn't realize I'd end up working with the guy through Learn Squared, which is still surreal. But what you just said there, like, even to this day, and I'm very much aware now, I was aware of his energy, and Asher obviously is one of the people he hung around with, their energy onto the influence they had on me. So the things that you just were looking at, I was looking at the same kind of stuff as well. Yeah. But only the more time I've spent in the industry and all that kind of stuff and hearing people's stories, I didn't realize how influential he was and how much influence he had. And also, I knew he was good. Obviously, he's excellent. But even to this day, you still don't realize how good he actually was, because every level you reach, I'm like, well, I'm still like 10 million steps behind from what he was doing way back when. Yeah, and for me, that's like an inspiring thing to see. Like, I think that's important to have people like that, like, who are just constantly like a North Star, so to speak. But yeah, like, I know for a fact, for sure, like you just said, like, you're not sure how many other people there are. Like, I know there's so many people. I don't think Mache's even got his head wrapped around the fact that how much influence he's had on people's, not just only like artistry, I think on people's lives, which I guess is a heavy topic mindset as well. Also, mindset, thinking. Yes. Yeah.
Because that's what gave me right now. So at some point, because I've listened to so much so at some point when I want to make a decision, I was not afraid anymore. Like, I don't care about what even my closest friend, because at some point they were like, dude, you've jumped from doing this to this to this. Like, I'll be like, I don't like, I got the courage from listening to him and how he has moved his life. So I got the courage from that, like, to like, you know what, this thing can lead somewhere. So like, jumping into matte painting is what has gotten me to where I am today. Like, I'm in a position now, because I was not really the type that really wanted to travel the world and all of this stuff. But because I made this kind of dream painting, I found myself going to UK, now I'm coming to Australia to work and all of this stuff. Yeah, so it's he really inspired me to be very, very, like, to just be brave, to be courageous, to be brave, like, just try it, like, just push. It's sounding cliche because I don't even know how I'm doing, like, it's sounding as if, of course that's what you say, but I personally, I know what it has done to me. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, personally, deeply, I know what it has done to me. And that courage is what is making me stand now and not caring about what anybody think. It might sound stupid that, I want to make a game for, like, I want to build something. And I don't care. I don't care about what, I just want to do it. Because I just have to.
I've been listening to a lot of people or interviews and stuff of different industries, like there's music, film in particular. There's a lot of good, and I'm going to say good, like, I'm not saying like it's good at first pass. You have to be looking for specific things to get the goodness, but they're giving away secrets, so to speak. Yeah. There's a lot of, like, I guess, director roundtables, producer roundtables, artist and actor roundtables. Yeah. Especially the producer, the director ones. They're very interesting to watch because their job is to making decisions. Their job is calling the shots. They give away a lot of the struggles that they faced making whatever they're making and stuff. And going back to what you mentioned a bit earlier on about inspirations, seeing who people like Denis Villeneuve, for example, and so many others of his ilk who are like at the top, speak about other directors as if they're nothing in comparison to them. It's very interesting. We can relate to that because we just mentioned that already in this episode.
Yeah.
But we look at other people, think that, well, they're at the top. Who are they going to inspire by? They're having the same kind of like thought process or same kind of feelings. So I guess it's like reassuring to think that, well, that's just how it's got to be. That's how you're always going to feel. There's always something that was ahead or came before it's going to inspire you.
Yeah.
And it just maybe just keep leveling up because you don't know how good that level is going to be. Yeah. And the more you do it, there's going to be someone behind you thinking that, you're the GOAT, so to speak, and whatever else.
Come on. There's no GOAT anywhere because the GOATs are in the front. Like, GOATs are and I understand what you mean.
Yeah. So, you mentioned moments ago about, I think you mentioned passingly, but you mentioned the word confidence.
Yeah.
Do you need confidence to work? Like, how important is confidence for you? And by confidence, like, what do you mean? Like, in terms of feeling confident or being around confidence? If that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think like being around confidence might be a plague, an artist plague.
Sick. I like that you explained that.
Yeah, but no. I think it's not being around confidence because I'm pretty much shy and so it's about decision, like especially artistic decision, and of course life decision. So, but artistic decision, confidence, to just because I used to really care about what's like if I want to try something because I would feel like especially when I was in Lagos, like where these things are not, it's just weird to be thinking in some aspects regarding what you want to do. Like, okay, if you are even thinking of doing environment for film, like we are still trying to break into animation. How do you think you are going to break into Hollywood, like into film? You just can't do. So there are all those things that back then, if I knew that I think I need to go into matte painting, but before I would tell my friends or tell people that I know, I would be afraid to let them know about it because I'm sometimes I would just imagine what they are gonna say in my head, like, oh, you started again. You are not doing this one anymore. You are onto this now, and so listening to a lot to Art Cafe, Level Up, which you mentioned. Yeah, I remembered. I listened to a lot of that also, and watching interviews and workshops. Yeah, it gave that confidence to especially so why I keep mentioning Maché, Ashtop, and I think Jamar at the ones, and I think Vitali at some point made me realize that there are some things as an artist that you just just leave what the regular artists are doing. You just start experimenting, and everyone's just gonna jump on that train with you eventually. Like everybody's just gonna first look at, what is he doing? But later, everyone want to do the same thing. So that's why I noticed with those four artists, that's what they did. Like back in the days when they were just doing abnormal stuff with their artworks. And like I remember when I was really fascinated at how could you be working so hard in 3ds Max to paint an image? Like that's what Maché does. I think like creating all this technical stuff to get something to shine. I think Maché has a very popular course that has the lady holding a gun. The cyberpunk lady. Yeah, which he did from Desk. Or what's the name of the app that has human? So that's
3D.
That's 3D. Yeah. So I was wondering, like, this is technical. Like, why would you go through this headache just to get an image out? But those are some of the things that were building in my mind, knowing that, like, you have to go all extent to get what is in your mind out. So, and this is on artistic level, right? So if you can apply it to life, you can apply it to so many things. Like, that's just the truth from just all the stuff. So I think the confidence built subconsciously because I already knew that some guys are doing this. So, and I knew that, you know what, it's possible, like, it's very possible. I think I can decide to change, as long as it's not affecting my friends' negative way or anything. It's my decision for my life. So I just don't used to care anymore. Like, you know, I'm going to make this decision. I'm going to try this industry. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try that. Yeah. So when I started thinking about doing game and all of that, I think it was in 2023. I think it was after a studio I was in closed down. I was like, I can't keep going through this. I think I have to start thinking as an entrepreneur, you know? So I started thinking about, okay, this is the only thing I know that with all the skills I have, I could apply here. Like, yeah, I like reading. I like technology. So gaming just encapsulates everything. So, yeah, I just decided that I think I have to start working on this because I'm already my age is already growing on me also. So I have to start it now. Like, this is my vision now. And this is like, it's going to be a long-term investment pursuit. And yeah, but I know it's going to lead me somewhere. I don't know yet. It might not be to a completed game, but it's getting me somewhere. I don't know.
I believe it. I can tell. Yeah. I can tell the way you're saying it. Like, I've had conversations with other people on similar things, and I can kind of get a hint of like, not, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's kind of like there's a part of you trying to convince either yourself or just someone else that, like, I know it sounds crazy, but what I'm onto might sound like a crazy thing to do, but trust me, it's going to work. And there's that energy there. Like, as long as the desire's there and the commitment's there, I think there's a lot of people who have achieved things with less of that commitment. So if they can do it with less, if you come in with 10 times more, surely there's going to be something at least as good, or if not better.
Yeah. My confidence my confidence also comes from knowing that I've done it once before. Like, I was pursuing in Hollywood to work on movies in VFX industry from Lagos, which was almost impossible. So I felt I've done it once before. So this new pursuit definitely is going to get me somewhere. So that's one of my main confidence, actually. I was not in the industry with anyone. I was not in America. I was just somewhere in Lagos where people don't normally think about. So I'm pretty sure there are a lot of artists, even some places Jamal used to say where he's from in Europe, like nothing there. You know, it's empty. In fact, before Mashi came to the US, there was nothing in Poland. You know, now there's so many things there, bro. So I've done it once. I believe I've done it, even though it's not on a scale of what some people have achieved and all of that. But I mean, at least I've been able to achieve that. So it gives me confidence to know that, yes, this one, I can definitely do it also.
Well, like you said, it was almost impossible. That doesn't mean it's impossible. So you've done almost impossible once. He says you can't do the second one, or maybe even make a trilogy.
So yeah, I really believe that, this is what I should be doing now. I really believe it. I'm convinced, actually,
Love it. I like how you describe your career about stepping stones. What was the very first stepping stone? Or even before that? What was the land before you embarked on the stepping stone? Where did your whole energy of wanting to be a creative come from? Was it simply seeing others, or was it something more innate inside of yourself that emerged through this?
Yeah, first of all, I think I always give credit to the movie Transformer, the first Transformer movie.
Yeah.
Michael Bay.
So the film or the cartoon?
The film.
Okay.
The film, yeah. The movie. I was little, like, I think the first movie came out like 2005 or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the movie. It was looking very, very so this was when I was living with my parents. I was very dumb. And I just play a lot of games. That's all I know. Like, I just play. I don't know how they make games. I don't know how 3D works. I don't know how anything works. So I saw the movie, and the movie was, I think, is the beginning of thinking of how does this work? Like, how do they do anything like this? Then I remember in 2007, an animated was the Ninja Turtles came out. The 2007 version. Do you remember the movie that came out in 2007? Turtle Ninja. It was 3D. It was a 3D movie. which if you look at it now, the 3D looks very bad, but back then was top 3D quality. so I saw the movie also. That was 2007. 2005, I was already thinking. I can't remember if Top came out in 2005 or 7, but the two movies that I mentioned now were the ones that made me look, okay, there's something behind this, there's something they use and all of that. So I remember internet started becoming so big in Nigeria then too. So you could search things online in forums and all of that. So I was really looking and I started hearing something called 3ds Max or 3ds or whatever they call it then. So some 3ds Max and Maya and Blender. I think that was 2008 or something. So I was seeing that, so there's software, there's how these things work. And so from there, a little bit my mind started. So that was where my mind started growing into this world. Like, okay, and I play a lot of games, but I didn't know they call them 3D, like the 3D game stuff. I didn't know what they called. I just remember I used to just scream at my sister, like, they look so real. Like, everybody looks so real. Like, when we are playing, especially when PS2 came out, like, wow, from PS1 that looks blocky, they look so real now, like realistic. I remember my sisters always saying, oh, no, it has to be witchcraft, you know. Back then, they would be like, nah, that cannot be possible, you know, you can't play a real human being. So, yeah, so I think because I play games a lot, so I kind of connected, okay, 3D in movies, how did movie only look better than the game movie? So I was trying to connect many of these dots and then started discovering there's a software they use. I started reading forums. And then I remember my first interest was to actually make a Java game because it was a game I loved so much. So then I played a lot of Java games on my phone. So I started seeing that there was a group of some guys in Nigeria that were doing meeting, talking about making games. So I was like, there are people that think like this in the country. So that's how it all expanded. Then from there, I think I discovered that there are some guys that do comics in the country. Then from wanting to do games, I moved to comic book. I wrote some comic books back in the days also, like as of 2010, 2011, I was a comic book writer. Yeah. Cool. So I've done but local comic book writer. Then started learning how to draw from, I forgot the book. I started learning how to draw from a book like that. Yeah. So yeah, over time, it just grew into like, okay, this is the next thing, this is the next thing, that's the next thing. Yeah, that's how it just grew, yeah.
Nice. In terms of like your personal work, obviously you see a lot of environments. I love the Houdini stuff that you've been doing, those little shots that you've been doing. I remember first seeing your work, I think you used to post, as they still do, like a lot. I think it was either on LinkedIn or obviously Facebook, probably everywhere. Always like one of your posts, let's see what's coming up. Oh, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool. Always dropping heat all the time. Why that subject matter? And what would you say is your skill set now? Because obviously, like you said, 3ds Max, you've done all these different things along the way, VFX, now you're doing C++. So yeah, there's a few questions rolled in one. But yeah, let's talk about your work first. Like, why do you pick this kind of subject matter?
Yeah, like environment, right? By subject.
Yeah.
It's just because, like, what made me love working in VFX was looking at environment works.
All right.
Yeah, of Dan & Co, Stephen Messi, and so many of them. Like, so I just loved movie environments. I love environment. I was never a character guy. I never drew character or anything. I painted like sometimes when I was doing painting and all that, I would paint characters and all of that. But I was never a character guy. So I think environment has just telling stories to the environment has always it's always been the thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's why like thinking in game aspect, which sometimes has a lot to do with environment design to direct your character, to direct players and all of that. Like you can use environment to do so many things, even in video games. So I think environment is just my calling. Maybe that's the word. Yeah. So it wasn't a decision. I think I just moved toward, like, that's just what I moved towards. That's why I find was easy for me to do also. Yeah.
Cool. And what's your, like, I guess, tool set now? Like, it sounds like you probably know almost everything tools wise, but what's your go-to kind of like, I guess, loadout of weapons?
Work, Maya mainly at work because we use a lot of Maya at work. For Houdini, I love Houdini because of what Houdini does. How it makes you work. Yeah. Right now that I've been looking into the programming world to see, so I see that so many of Houdini comes from some of the terms from programming world, like So Houdini is making, so I mean in programming, I'm pretty sure you understand when they say high level and low level. So Houdini kind of, for artists, Houdini creates this, it makes a programmer, someone coming from programming background that want to do art, it makes them to look at Houdini and look at it yourself and like, okay, I could work with this because it allows them to think as a programmer, like, okay, I'm going to write code because the Vex that comes to Houdini use C style, like it's using C style programming. So inspired by C. So like it's so easy for them to do some of the, so now the only difference with Houdini and like maybe programming brought in maybe Visual Studio is Houdini, you manipulate geometries because it's about 3D. So you use what your knowledge in programming to manipulate geometries like points and surface and all of that. Yeah. So why I use Houdini is because what I've been using it, practicing with it also, it just helped me to, like the mindset that I want to be in now. Houdini as a 3D software, because I still want to do 3D stuff. So Houdini makes me like it bridges, like it creates this bridge of, okay, you are learning C++, you are learning programming, you are learning all this programming stuff. And while you are even using your 3D software, you could still do a bit of programming in it while I'm creating 3D stuff. Like, so while still being artistic, I could still apply programming knowledge to it. So Houdini is there's no conversation, like there's no negotiation to make with that stuff when it provides that kind of thing. Because there was someone, Gumroad, that I bought. She's very, very brilliant. She came from a C++ background. So she creates so crazy stuff with Houdini because she just understands programming. So she just break Houdini apart, like with her knowledge. She just creates most of that stuff, just writing programs. Like she's not using the nodes. So it's just, so I really admired that. And to be honest, I'm not looking at myself to be expert in that, but I just want to know how, like, I just want to know how how things connect, you know? Yeah. So Houdini is good for that. If you really want to think like a programmer while still maintaining like being an artist, yeah, Houdini is good for you. Like Houdini just make that work. Like it makes it seamless to do that. Yeah.
Houdini, I've had a lot of fun in Houdini. I don't know.
Okay.
Like programming.
Also, have you used
it? I've been using it for a bunch of years. But I just rely on the tutorials I've seen, or just clicking the nodes together. So you said it in a very smart way. I say it in a very like primitive kind of way. I'm just like a caveman, just like kind of plucking things together and I get a kind of result and stuff, or modifying like someone else's setup.
There's two ways to use it. So I'm not going to say, I don't think like there's two ways to use it because some artists use it without a lot of programming. They could just need to know the basic of like what they need to do with Vex, and they could manipulate like with just that basic. So artists comes in different like we can approach things differently. Yeah. Yes. So you can still be. I think you can still be great at Houdini without a programming knowledge or anything like that.
Yeah. I think. I think that's for sure because I've managed to get some decent assets and results from it. And again, if I had to explain what I did, I'd be like, I don't know, I just click things together. But there's something powerful.
The result is not how you get it.
It does, and you probably correct me if I'm wrong, but it does feel like Houdini is one of those where you can pretty much do anything that you imagine.
Yeah. Just like programming. Like
Yeah.
with programming, you can do anything. Like,
Right.
you can literally program the universe. Like I've seen people trying to program the universe, like emulating the universe. Like, so so currently the game I've been playing every night before I sleep, which is a ritual for me, is No Man's Sky.
Okay. I've never played that yet.
Okay, I think you need to play it. I think for some people they say it's boring for them, like because you don't do anything, you just go from planet to planet.
Yeah.
So No Man's Sky is an example of just programming a universe, like having quintillions of planets using a very basic principle of Perlin noise. So if you go to Houdini, like you can achieve. It's Houdini that exposed me to a lot of things you could do with Perlin noise, like what you could with just that concept of Perlin noise. So like if you look at No Man's Sky, literally at the root of it is Perlin noise that is making to generate a universe and all. So when you say Houdini, you can do anything because it allows you to really break it apart.
Mm-hmm.
Like Maya 3ds Max, they already have all the UI for you to move things, to do this. So Houdini, you could create your own UI, you could create your own parameters here to use for what you built. So like Houdini allows you to break it apart, do whatever you want with it in the environment of doing. I mean, I've seen someone that made a mini render engine with Houdini viewpoint, like viewport.
Yeah.
It made a render engine with noise, so it render things with noise because it knows how to program. So he could manipulate the points to show to show him things. I think I'm not sure, but I think someone has programmed raycasting, engine inside Houdini in the viewport.
Mad.
Because you can do anything with it. Anything.
Yeah. And what kind of tools do you want to explore next, or are you happy with what you're using?
I'm actually very happy with Houdini because I could do everything with it. So right now, the tools I want to explore next is just literally, which feels a bit. I think they are getting complicated now. Visual Studio, because I've been using Visual Studio to just program to learn. Yeah, behind the scene, just when I'm not doing 3D, I just program. I just try to program stuff.
Nice.
I've been following a very long tutorial of C++ to understand and learn how computer works and all of those things. And so when it comes to tool, I think the only tool that I'm thinking about now, which is very refreshing, knowing that this is less complicated and all of that, is using Visual Studio. Just a notes, but Visual Studio. So the funny thing now is they are becoming complex. Also, it's just supposed to be an editor, like a notepad, but they have all these menu compilers, everything involved. So I'm like, oh, come on. So when I was going to some of the forums where programmers were, they were mentioning if you want to enjoy Visual Studio, just use the older version where they don't have all these menus to kill you.
Yeah.
So just use 2008 version or something, which was like that. And some people say that's the golden age, where everything is still light, it's basic, not too much distraction yet. So I just want to use a software that is very basic, so that's the tool, but Houdini is my default. Because I can do everything. I can create my game assets there and all of that.
Sick.
Yeah.
You mentioned a few inspirations throughout. Obviously, a bit offline as well before we started the episode of Mentioned Transformers. So, interesting, mentioned Transformers. I remember the first film, and it was just insane.
Yeah.
My love of Transformers came from the original cartoons because at that time it was wow, insane. But what are the kind of things that have inspired you, I guess, throughout? So obviously there's always the stuff that inspires us early on. There's always stuff that inspires us, obviously, along the way, thinking, wow, that's a benchmark, that's an inspiration. And of course, there's always stuff that inspires us for the next stages that we're going to do. What were those for you?
Also for every stage, or like the
I guess, yeah. So like, you don't have to do it in a linear way, but like just a few inspirations that have like helped you throughout your career.
Yeah, okay. Some of my inspiration is of course I've mentioned artists, and but when it comes to maybe how things, like what makes me want to move, like what makes me want to, like, okay, see, this is a very basic thing. I'm just painting on the screen, or I'm just moving 3D. So I watch a lot of documentaries, especially I watch some of the documentaries of the when the Soviet Union, when they built a lot of aircraft back in the day. So I watch a lot of their engineers, like some of the videos of the engineer building, when I think then they had so many funds for the engineers to build us, to design and build. So they were really designing crazy stuff, like in the 40s. You know, they were designing crazy crafts in the 50s. So like looking at all of those stuff, like what humans were thinking, building. And I think, Concorde, like the Concorde that was built between England and France, Concorde airplane, the fastest passenger plane, which is no more, which is sad. Like that's really sad.
I know.
I'm glad I was able to, I saw it in the airport. I saw it when I was in the plane.
Sick.
Concorde, yeah. I was so excited to see it just somewhere there. So it's those things inspire, like, to look at myself, like, you are not even doing anything that's great compared to what these guys have achieved, you know. And one of the things that made me to start looking all of that is one art station workshop that Aaron Beck did, where he mentioned about someone that one of the best quotes he likes is someone saying, like, happy is the man that knows how things work.
Yes.
It stuck with me, like that quote. I'm not sure that's how the man said it, like, because I think it's people from the 320 ADs or something. So
right,
like,
okay.
But the point of the quote is, happy is the man that knows how things work, or at least have understanding of. Yeah, so my inspiration comes from knowing that, you know what, people are doing greater things than what I'm doing as an artist, and it inspires to still want to, like, okay, if people can be achieving this as an artist, you should be able to achieve, you know, stuffs as an artist, because we are not going to the world to build things that humans will depend on. And I mean, we build entertainment, humans depend on entertainment anyways. But I mean, people build a aeroplane that if they do single mistakes in some things, like it take the life of people. Yeah, you know, so like those are very, very risk. I don't know how to put it, but yeah, those things inspire me to look at them and be like, you know what, these are real stuff, real, like, people are doing this kind of thing. So I should not be afraid to attempt things being an artist, you know?
Right.
Yeah, because people are making invention, like moving, like real life inventions, you know? So, and they are not afraid. They are taking risks and all of that. So why should I be afraid to take a risk of just carrying my mouse or pen and just and make something on the screen, you know? The risk is little for us as artists, you know. So I don't know why I would not want to, why I would not want to be confident, you know. So that's one of the other inspiration that I've not really spoken about to people, but I just find myself watching a lot of how this works, how that works, how this works. I just watch all of that, yeah.
So a couple of questions before we wrap up.
Okay.
You mentioned about, obviously, early on, trying to make your breaking through the industry.
Yeah.
You said that you made a lot of moves. And how would you describe somebody who's in your position now, or just obviously artists in general? What does making a move look like?
Or making a move, what it looks like is, right now, the way it looks like for me is, so when I'm already thinking about, okay, I need to get to this place, I need to achieve this, like, I need to be able to, I love what they are doing on that show. How will I be able to work on a show like this? I'll just have to start creating things that look similar to the show starts, one thing I can do a lot is going to ask questions like the message. So that's part of the moves for me, sending messages to people, to the ones that will reply or not, just trying my luck. It's in a very, very disrespectful way or like talking or disturbing way. Just like to let them know what my aim is and all of that. So I've even while I was thinking about right now that I'm thinking about moving to game, I know I've messaged some people in that department in that career to ask the question. I even sent message to someone that has a game that kind of got popular, Tiny Glades. I sent message to her and I didn't get any reply, but I just sent message because that's how I just make my moves. Like I just want to start getting information directly from people. Yeah, and she's just like me because she started from being an environment artist to doing stuff and then doing her game. And I've seen people do that. Like people have made this move, so it's not a new thing. So I could they are out there. You could just message them. Like you could just meet people. So whatever move that anyone is trying to make now, like because people are in different stages. So there's someone that's done it. Like there's a lot of people that have done it. And internet is like you could just easily message everyone, like message them in a very professional way, reach out to people. So moving for me now, I still do that. Like it has not changed because I have to get knowledge. Like I have to ask people like, so, congrats on your game and all of that. Or what books do you recommend? So yeah. So that's movement. Yeah, that's moving for me, like making moves. Yeah. It has to start from there. Like from your trying to acquire knowledge, of that field, or expertise, getting expertise advice,
Love it. Final words or thoughts from yourself before we head off?
Yeah. So in it's funny in No Man's Sky, I discovered a planet and I named it. My game is gonna be popular. Like I named it a very stupid name, very stupid name. And I hope someone discovers it someday. Someone discovered a planet in No Man's Sky. I think I forgot what I named it, but I named it something like "You're gonna play my game someday." It's gonna be popular. It's a very long name. It was a very stupid name. So I did that, which was very, very. I was like, "What am I doing?" Yeah. So that's one. I said, let me put that one out there. So I hope someone discovered that planet. Yeah. Then the last thought is, even though the industry is looking like there's so many things happening with artificial intelligence and all of that, and I can see so many people that want to join, like they're afraid, like people are getting scared a lot for what the future is and all of that. So, and students just coming out of school that want to join the industry. And so I think what I've noticed is from working, there are people that like, I think if you are just good at what you do, there's just going to be opportunities. Like, that's why I think there's just going to be opportunity. Like, there's just work. Like, I've seen people that are not online or anywhere. Like, these guys are secured. Like, they have job keep coming for them because they are just good at their stuff. They don't care about the AI or whatsoever. So they're just good at their stuff and they just keep getting contracts and all of that, So that's what I've seen from inside the industry. And, for students that are outside of it, they are definitely going to be scared of, some of the things that they are seeing or hearing from the internet and all of that. So I just want to encourage people to just do what they have to do. Like, just do what you really want to do. Just pursue what you really want to pursue and always just keep making moves because it's going to get to somewhere. Hey, like artificial intelligence, AI is not going to, I don't think it's going to, like the way it's looking like it's going to take everything away. I don't think it's going to be like that. But it's very popular saying that it's going to take everything away because that's the kind of things that get popular on the internet. Like that's the kind of thing that make traction. So yeah, but in real life, people are actually still working. Yeah.
Olubunmi, absolutely amazing, man. Thanks for jumping on.
Thank you very much.
It's been great.
Such an honor to be part of this.
Sick. I'm glad to have you on.
Yeah.
Speak soon.
Yeah, speak soon. Bye-bye.
Huge thanks to Olubunmi for that amazing chat. Hit the links to check what he's up to and to give him a follow. Then head to learnsquare.com and take our courses, just like Olubunmi did, to progress his career. All of our first lessons are free. I've been your host, Aaron Danda. Till next time.